Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Elmer Horn with Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and we're here in one of our communities, and Sheriff Pounds is here with us. And Sheriff Pounds is very involved in his communities, and he come out. We brought out our grill and our smoker so we can come out and help cook for this community. And Sheriff Pounds himself has come out and helped cook with us, and he's here to cook and help these folks today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the programs that I call taking my community back. If you don't get out there and get involved in your community, you ain't gonna be able to get it back. And the sad part about it, we losing our young men at such a pace that it's unreal. We got to come up with something that will help us with these children. Got to. So this is what I'm doing. I love it. I'm out here in the sun. It's hot, but like I said earlier, we're gonna do these until we get that gap between law enforcement and the community bridge. We're gonna bridge that gap because we're gonna get out here, we're gonna shake hands, we're gonna find out if they got any kind of problem we can assist them with, and invite them to the sheriff's office and come to the roll call. Just come see what's going on at the office. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, Sheriff Pounds. And like I said, this is just one of many events that we bring this grill out to help with our communities and get involved. I'm here today at one of our community outreach days with our sound truck. And our sound truck is used for just what you see. We come out to community days, we play loud music, and be able to just have a good time with it and enjoy our community. At a sheriff's office, you get to see us in a little different light. We're not always out there writing tickets or locking people up. We come out to your community day and be a part of your day and help you celebrate your community. And this is just one of the ways that we can do that, was with our sound truck. We're here today in one of our communities. We brought our ice cream truck out. A lot of people like to laugh when I say the sheriff's office owns an ice cream truck, but this is exactly what it's for, is we bring it out to our communities. We give away ice cream. We don't charge for the ice cream. The ice cream is free. And we have partners in our businesses in our community that help pay for the ice cream so that we can give it away for free. And we give it away. We go to schools. This is just one of many events that we bring our ice cream truck to. We go to the school systems. We come out to community days, block parties. We just come out and see you and help you enjoy and celebrate your community. Thank you.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom, Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom, Inc. Reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives. Today's world exposes our youth to life.
My name is Lauren, and welcome to TV 1061. Join our network and broadcast your film live across the continent. Come to our studio and film and stream your TV show, sitcom, and showcase and broadcast it worldwide. Combine multimedia with your live stream. Independent filmmakers show your movie and afterwards interview your cast live. Sponsors, advertisers, I'm talking to you. This is your chance for global exposure. These are exciting times that we're in. Traditional TV is but a thing of the past. TV 1061 is on the Roku platform. Roku is an industry leader in internet TV. It has a viewership of 53 million and counting. It is the most popular and fastest growing internet TV platform. If you are interested in developing and showcasing your movie or show, or interested in coming in as a sponsor or advertiser, please send us your contact information with a brief description of your interest to 1061tv@gmail.com. Thank you. Hi.
You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings on TV 1061. black on black crime, man. I'm sick of this. Thank you for watching another edition of Talk Show Kings on TV 1061. We'll be seeing you soon.
You are tuned in to Talk Show.
Good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Talk Show Kings. And of course, today we're going to have another good topic. Well, actually, two topics for you today. But first, we want to go ahead and give thanks to Felix Washington for putting this show together. And we also want to thank all the people that are watching around the world, and also thank the folks in Douglasville for allowing us to come into their homes and produce and have this show. My name is King Eric, and we're going to introduce the rest of the panel. And to my left,
I'm King Darwin, and to my left,
you got King Bernard, and to my left,
got King Clem.
And together we are the
Talk Show Kings.
All right. And just for the people that's watching on YouTube TV 1061 or Roku TV 1061, you can call in. The number is 470-689-3832. Give us a call and you can join in the conversation as well. And again, you can, if you're watching, you can stream it live on YouTube TV 1061 or Roku TV 1061. All right, first off, we're going to get into some hot topics. We're going to keep it a little upbeat today. Because I know this week has been been hectic out here. So let's get into some football. NFL free agency starts. They just finished the combine a couple of weeks ago. So NFL free agency starts tomorrow. I don't know if everybody a big football fan, but you also have that along with the SEC women's basketball championship is playing right now. I believe it's Texas and South Carolina is playing for the SEC women's championship. Do anybody else have anything as far as that they seen this week?
Let me see. Well, Diggs, they let Diggs go, so that was a major blow for me. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting this year. Shedeur, he's set to start and things of that nature. So it's it's just going to be very, very interesting this season. So I'm excited for it. I am. I really am.
Shedeur.
It's early, but yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, the coach said that he don't know who's going to start yet with Cleveland. So, and that's your team, man.
Well, that's definitely the home team. I want them to always do good, but at the same time, they're the cardiac kids, right? Why they call them that, right?
That's Cincinnati.
No,
the cardiac cats.
No. We the cardiac kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there was so many cardiac arrests, from the heartbreak that they used to do, that they used to give us.
Look, you can say the same thing about the Falcons.
and at the same time, I want the Atlanta to do good because I'm in Atlanta now. So,
okay.
I'm a Falcon fan, but first and foremost, I represent the Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. That's my number one team.
Okay, the Dolphins.
So we have some regrouping to do this year too, as far as what our coach is gone and the quarterback has had his ups and downs, but hopefully they get it together as well.
Tua.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm in for the shindigs and out there making sure we have fun when it comes out there to watching football and enjoying each other and talking mad basuda when we out there watching the game, tailgating. That's what I'm about when it comes down to football, because this is about enjoying each other and being out there together, just out there talking with each other, drinking, enjoying ourselves, making back home safe and everything. So when it comes down to watching the game, I'm out there with family, friends, all of that. So yeah, that's me on that one.
Okay. Well, that's that.
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't the Falcons, they just cut the quarterback, didn't they?
Cousins, they got rid of Cousins.
Yeah, they got rid of Cousins.
Yeah, he's
okay,
gone.
Yeah.
So They was
Yeah,
trying
he'll
to-
probably be going to Minnesota, maybe.
back to Minnesota.
Back to Minnesota?
Look, they can't get no worse than what they have now.
Yeah.
But they was doing good though for
Yeah,
did
when they
good.
had,
did good.
you know, the quarterback they got rid of just won the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Yeah.
So-
they were doing good.
Were
Yeah, we're doing good.
last year. So hey, but I guess we'll move right on into our two topics for the day. And basically, it's two topics. Of course, first, the impact of historically black colleges and universities, you know, commonly known as HBCUs, and why so many people say that they're more than just schools. And then we're going to ask a deeper question. What does success actually look like in the black community today? Is it the money, the influence, the peace, ownership, or something completely different? Now, I never attended a HBCU, but I know I do have some coworkers that went to Howard. Some went to Spelman. I had a couple that went to Morehouse. Actually, it's a guy that I actually train, and he goes to different sites with me. He graduated from Morehouse. I think it was last year, matter of fact. So, but getting started with that, what do you think, or did you ever consider going to a HBCU? King D?
I have. I'm gonna be totally honest. I did when I was in high school. I thought it was probably one of the better things to do, right? Coming out of high school is to go to a historically black university, college, or what have you. But doing some history, you know, on the situation, what was it? Richard Humphreys, I think he started the first HBCU back in 1837. He was the first one to start an HBCU.
Okay.
He was a philanthropist and a Quaker, and he started the first one. It was first an African Institute, called an African Institute, that he changed the name. And I think that's Cheney University is the college now today. And I thought about it, and it was something that was on my mind, and I made different decisions though coming out of high school, of course. But I have an issue with HBCUs at this point in my life. I want to elaborate on it yet because I'm gonna let the brothers, you know, say their piece on the HBCUs and how they felt about it. What you think about it, King?
Okay, here's my thing. I never thought about going to a HBCU. I really wasn't even introduced, like, far as, you know, during the time and I was getting out of high school, HBCU. You know when I got introduced to a HBCU? A different world. That's crazy. But yeah, and I was like, oh man, historically black colleges, such and such. But what I can say now, I'm older and I know about them, you know, they have a lot to do with the community. See, people think that it's just education, but no, man, they deal with like development. They deal with, okay, going to what I've learned, and like I said, I know people who go, they said when they went to their HBCU, when they went and they seen people that look like them, it inspired them. And see, that's how when you see something and you see somebody look like you say, okay, you feel more comfortable. So what it does, it inspires you to achieve greater. So now you turn out doctors, lawyers, politicians. Well, being a politician right now is not a badge of honor, but you guys know what I mean. It turns, you know where I'm going with this. It turns out that. So that's what I think about HBCUs. Like you said, it ain't just education, man. It's what it does to you, to inspire you to be better. What you think, King Clem?
Honestly, one of those things about, you know, going to HBCU, because it would have been Morehouse for myself. My Aunt Josephine, you know, she put me on to want to go to a historically black college, but I ended up going to college in West Virginia. So One of the things I would definitely say when it comes down to being able to be in the South, because a lot of them are down here, and it represents us well. I enjoy the fact of, like they mentioned, being able to see a lot of myself out here, because I wasn't always there at that point in time when it came down to choosing like that. So now that I've learned to not overlook that type of thing, that would be something to, you know, hold proud for myself. But that would have been one of the colleges I would have went to, would have been Morehouse. So shout out to all those that went to Morehouse and any other historically black college.
Okay.
Yeah, because they do. Yeah, absolutely. You know, you got to give big ups to them because they did do a lot of good. You know, they really, from what I hear from other friends and associates of mine, the HBCUs, they do have like black history. They really do teach a lot of our history that we didn't get in high school or elementary or junior high, for that matter. So they were inspirational and far as creating and giving us some type of identity other than what the system gave us. Right. Okay, so I do give them a big ups for that. But on the flip note of it, you giving us the information. You really, like you were saying, you're creating these doctors, these attorneys, you know, these professionals. And once they graduate from these HBCUs, at this point, it's nowhere for them to go. They haven't created an economic development for us. You see what I'm saying? After they get out of college, we still have to go back and try to figure out and try to find a job in this corporate America, which doesn't look like us a lot of times, right? So when they get out of these schools, it's nowhere for them to work. You see what I'm saying? We haven't created that structure to where as though when they get out of school, hey, you can still go to this company, this corporation that looks like us as well. That's the only issue that I can say about, okay, you're giving me all this information, you're giving me the knowledge of self and a little bit of this and that, but once I get out of school, I still got to run back to them for support, for help, instead of creating another chapter, another half of that to create that economic and financial freedom.
Okay, so with that being said, I'm glad you touched that, because one of the questions I had is, do you think that other universities have a stronger network than HBCUs?
Of course they do.
Yes.
Of course they do.
Yes.
You got Harvard, Yale, you know what I'm saying,
Yep.
and all these other universities, and they sending them to their hospitals. They're sending them to their law firms. They're filtering them through their systems, right? But we don't have the systems to filter our people through. That's my thing. And with these, you know, historically black colleges and universities, I feel that they should have been coming together at some point to create these systems for our people to come out of and still work amongst us to better our people and better our, you know, situation, right? Instead of having to still go back and trying to find a job in their economic system.
Okay, look, you know what? I'm so glad you touched on that, because it really opened up for me. That's a real good point. But here's the $1 million question. What do we do about it? Mm-hmm. How do we get into that arena? Because what you said did make sense. Okay, you go to these HBCUs, you get all this education, but now you have to go into another arena. You was just in the education arena. Now you got to go into the corporate to make financial gains arena.
Right.
That's a whole different set of people, demographic people that don't look like this.
Absolutely.
Again, anybody on this panel, okay, since we know that, what do we do? What needs to be done? You know what, King Eric, what you think? What can we do?
Well, for one, we have all these leaders that has went through HBCUs. Don't get me wrong, I do have one issue with HBCUs, and it's really not even with the HBCUs. Right. It's with the graduates who became the leaders out here, and they don't give back to those schools that they left. Because why is it that Deion Sanders didn't go to a HBCU, but when he was coaching at Jackson State, he didn't take a paycheck because he gave his paycheck to the college so that way they could have a better gym, a better facility for the football team. Where are all those leaders who came from that, who graduated these HBCUs? Where are they at? That made it? Why they're not pouring back into the school system that pouring back into the HBCU? You get all of the Georgia, the University of Georgia, Georgia Tech, the Harvard. They give back to those organizations. But we get to a certain level because now we're at the same status as those other universities, the other graduates that came from those universities, but we don't want to help the other ones that come back. Now, don't get me wrong. All of them are not like that. But when you have, let's just say you have, I don't know what we got, over 100 HBCUs, and you probably only get, just take Howard, for instance. How many top leaders or actors or everybody that came from Howard? Vice President Kamala Harris graduated from Howard. Do I know? I don't know if she gives back or not. She may do. She probably is giving back. But how many other celebrities give back to the HBCUs? How many others are alumni and they give back? I didn't go to HBCU. I wanted to. I had narrowed it down to 2 schools. And then I decided I wanted to go. It was North Carolina A&T, and then it was the last one was Fort Valley State. And I told my mom I wanted to go to Fort Valley State. She said no. But I did want to go. Yeah, right. But to answer your question, yes, we have to. In order for things to change like that, network. I feel like the network is there. I just feel like once they get there, they don't want to bring. They're not pouring back. Because I had the opportunity, one of my projects was at Albany State University, a renovation. I've had the opportunity, I have never seen so many united black people standing together in one place like that in a long time. Wow. In one place like that in a long time. Yeah, don't get me wrong, there's always going to be something that happens, that the mentality is, and some people are not going to be there. But at the end of the day, they were all stood together, and you can see the growth of Albany State. I mean, don't get me wrong. There may be a lot of different institutions out there that does that. I can only go by what I saw while I was working at Albany State with my project. The leaders that they have there. So, for me, I think that the network is there. Sometimes they don't have the people to tap into it. Sometimes the people don't come back to show that the network is there for them.
Yeah, but I still feel that they have the know-how. I mean, hey, these is doctors, you know, these cum laudes. These is the cream of the crop, right? But you can't create a financial infrastructure to further these graduates' career after college.
Well,
I mean, what is it?
them...
Howard? Okay, what? A Howard law firm. Hey, what? A Howard hospital. Hey, what? A Howard bank. You see what I'm saying? Teaching financial, you know, because these are the things that we as a people need, right? We need financial infrastructure. We need health care. You understand what I'm saying? And we need law.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying? Those are 3 major things that they can at least create under their name
to
be able to filter our people through. You see what I'm saying? In order for them to be successful still at the same time not have to get and go through the same thing you done went through. I'm pretty sure you done went through racial discrimination at work. I'm pretty sure you didn't experience racial discrimination. I'm pretty sure you didn't. I mean, that's a big issue. And it's been a big issue since we've been here.
Now, let me ask you this. You brought up a good point.
Okay. So why haven't you created the solution?
But let me ask you this. There's no Harvard institution bank.
Okay,
There's no.
because they
Hold
have,
up.
I'm gonna give you, you
Hold
know
on,
the reason why?
hold on,
Because they got
hold
enough
on.
counterparts to
Listen,
create the
here's
filter their
thing.
people through.
They have. See, here's the thing.
Yeah.
You have that. You still have those law firms, those black law firms that hire people that hire folks that went to HBCUs. You still have doctors' offices.
Yes.
That went to HBCUs and they hire people from HBCUs, just like you have those law firms with Harvard. They only hire Harvard graduates. You have those
Absolutely.
They create the leaders. That's so you can't blame the HBCUs. You have to blame the leaders that graduated from these institutions.
Well, it's about
Because
the nurturing, though. It's
still-
about putting that into their into their mental to be able to create that. Because at the same time, you got to understand that a lot of us don't get a chance. You understand to think that far down the line, right? Because we so engineered.
This is
we
getting
have
good.
been so engineered to what? Follow, right? We
tell
haven't
you
been
what.
engineered to be a leader. We've been engineered to follow
I
the
got it.
leader.
Let me
Not
ask
to
you
be
this.
a leader.
You got kids,
Okay,
right?
this is. I'm just giving you a little.
I
know,
get it,
insight.
but you got kids, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so
Absolutely.
you have nurtured that school. You
Yes.
have nurtured that child from the day they were born to the day they got grown.
Yep.
And you're probably still nurturing them. You're probably still
Absolutely.
giving them that advice.
Yes.
But it's up to them.
Yes.
You've taught them how to lead. You gave them all the tools that they need to get out there and do this.
That's right.
It's up to that individual. So you
yeah,
can't blame
that's
that.
true.
You cannot blame the institution. Because see, if Harvard did it, and then you got another college like Morehouse, all the leaders that Morehouse has brought out, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., for example. You got other leaders that came out of there, that came from that institution. And they give and they put a platform out there. But the thing is, just like right now, you have kids that don't even know their heritage. I don't know if you've seen that Tyler Perry movie with Joe Goes to College.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
His grandson didn't know nothing about historically black colleges. Nothing.
Absolutely.
And that was a history lesson in itself.
Yeah.
Because there are some kids right now that don't even know anything about their history because only thing they know about history is they used to march. And right now ain't nobody doing no marching.
That's my point right there.
So again,
That's my point.
who's to blame? Is it the historically black colleges or is it the leaders that came from that historically black college?
Honestly, it's going to take some research because each individual person that's going to end up wanting to sit here and be like, you know what? I'm going to pick the school I want to go to. So when you pick the school that you want to go to, when you decide, all right, I'm going to be the one that's going to be a lawyer or the doctor. And then you know that the challenges you had to face when you were coming up to why you said, you know what, I want to be a lawyer. So when it comes down to just going with the lawyer as the example, if you're going to end up taking on a case that has to be one of those ones that you may not win, take the case anyway. Because if you're going to be like, I don't know, a public defender, and you're going to have to jump out there, be willing to jump, because you're right. There's a lot of times when it comes down to they're not going to give you the opportunity. They want the one from Harvard that's been doing it for years, that they're going to want them. So that's why when it comes down to sitting here saying, all right, I'm going to go ahead and do it, you're going to have to be out there and be ready to do it. So that's why when it comes down to researching just a little bit, if you want to be a doctor, and you're going to have to know that what are the things that we have to face, because now it's about helping your community. Now it's about also helping yourself, because before you can help your community, you're going to have to know what you want to do for self. Because if you're going to want to help you, or you, or you, I have to know what I want to do so I know how to help you, or you. Because if I don't know what I'm doing, I need to go ahead and take the steps to make sure, let me go ahead and, talk to this person and see what the real ailments are. Let me talk to this person and see what they're in court for. Is there anything that can help? Did he not get his Miranda rights read to him? Does he understand what the rights were before he ended up signing a ticket, before he ended up getting arrested? So now when it comes down to speaking up in court, you're going to be the voice for these people. You're going to end up being the voice to why this person says, you know what, I'm not taking any shots. I'm not going to take any type of medications that aren't going to do for me, because if you know a way that's going to be outside of health that you can end up doing, I don't know, herbs, where you don't have to take pills, where you have to spend money this way, you can find another way, and that's what's going to bring people to you. You're going to help do that, because you're going to have to stop putting it in other people's hands to say why you're going to be able to do it. That's going to be how you end up doing this. And that's why I want the $1 million question, because I want the $1 million, because if I'm going to have to share it out here with y'all, y'all better be ready too, because I'm not going to be the only one that's going to make $1 million if you want it too.
Get them.
That's facts.
That's right. Now let me ask you this. We just talked about just a brief topic of the NFL free agency starting tomorrow. Now, back in the day, NFL players used to come from historically black college. All of them did.
All of them.
Majority, yeah, because they was the only place. But now, majority of them, I mean, over 80% of the football players, NFL players, are African American.
Yeah.
But
Basketball too.
yeah, right. But how many of them now has came that graduated from HBCU?
It's some, and I would say
yeah, it's some less
it's
than
some,
10%.
and I would say that some of them give back once they graduate. Not all of them just walk away and say, okay, I got my education, I'm on to something else. So I do say that it is a lot of them that give back, but that's financial. You see what I'm saying? That's financial support. But at the same time, just like all of these institutions, they have football teams, they have baseball teams, they have basketball teams, they have all of that. We got to get innovative now. This ain't the time to keep following trend. This is the time to get innovative. And this is why the HBCUs should have been able to look at our situation and to be able to say, hey, well, this is what we need in place of this, in contour to this. You see what I'm saying? Not just, okay, you graduated, hey, good luck with your future, right? Because I'm pretty sure they didn't heard it just like we've heard all the horror stories after graduating and trying to find a job in my profession in this corporate America that we live in. So it's just about being innovative and creating their own team. You see, they need their team, we need our team. We need our team of lawyers. We need our team of doctors. We need our team of everything. And that's how we break the chain. That's how we break the cycle. Because if it doesn't start, it'll never get finished.
Now,
to me, that's just my own point of view.
Yeah,
that's just
I get
coming
it.
from King Darwin.
Now, if someone has built the platform, if you have a leader that has done that, why is it that the other graduate chooses to go to, I don't know, they choose to go work for Muntlick and Associates instead of going to work for, instead of going over here to Underwood Associates or whatever?
Because they haven't built that platform. That's the thing.
I'm saying if the platform is built, that's what I'm asking.
If the platform is built,
and they still choose to go over here.
That's perfectly fine.
And that's what I mean by that's what I mean when I say that's what I mean when I said sometimes there is platforms that are built. They just choose they choose not to take them. Just like they get scholarships from HBCUs, but they choose to go to Alabama. They choose to go to University of Georgia. They choose to go to Kennesaw State. They choose to go to these other places instead of going to the HBCU.
Well, you're still saying schools. I'm talking about after school. I'm talking about after graduate.
I know what you're saying.
After they graduate and they need to get out here in this workforce and they need to find something that they have went to school and got their master degree and their doctorates in, that they can still come out and they can still find jobs and a career. You know, that's like you said, Harvard, they got their filter, they got their farm lead. You know, it's like a farm. It's just like in basketball. It's just like in football. It's just like in any profession. They have their farm. You think that these law firms don't go to these colleges and but we're so stuck in being the follower and not the leaders. That is the issue. And we have to break those chains before we can say, okay, I graduated from Harvard, so I'm about to go out here and I'm about to start this law firm and I'm about to, go back to Harvard and let them know, hey, look, I'm looking for nothing but Harvard graduates to come work for me. You see what I'm saying? Or someone that comes out of there, that's very far and in between. Because at the same token, that a lot of us aren't going to make it.
As long as you understand that'll be the thing that you're going to have to overcome.
Yes.
You're going to have to overcome the question. and you're
Yes.
going to have answers.
Yes.
And the hardest thing to do is you're going to have to face yourself and say, what's the answer?
Yes.
Now, mind you, with asking the question,
Yes.
are you also answering the question? Because
Yes.
if you don't, then you can't expect somebody else that went to college, that's out of college, like you mentioned,
Yes.
to say, all right, now I'm out here in the workforce, now what do I do? Bet you're going to have to ask yourself what you're going to do.
Yes.
Because you're going to, okay, what are you going to do? It's going to be you that's going to have to face it. If you're going to say, like he's mentioned, going to HBCU, what's the HBCU about? HBCU is about having black kids that go to their school. That's what they're about. That's where the money comes in, and that's what they're promoting. We have majority of the minorities that you would consider as us to being minorities, because for HBCU, for minorities, they would consider all those that are not black or like Hispanics or whites that would be considered minorities. They'll get the scholarships to go there.
Right.
So when it comes down to getting outside of that and going to the workforce, you're going to make sure that you want to have an answer. If you can't come up with one, understand with why you're wanting to go to Harvard or why they're picking them. So that way you can be the answer.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll come back with the second half of our show. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Chief Gary Sparks with the Douglasville Police Department. Today we want to give you some safety tips concerning traffic stops. Take a look.
So you look in your rear view mirror and see flashing blue lights. What do? Remain calm. Yield to the right and pull your vehicle over into an off-road area that is safe for both you and the officer. Put your car in park. Remove your foot from the brake and turn the radio off. Remain in your vehicle. Have your driver's license readily available for the officer. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, visible for the officer at all times. If you need to retrieve any items from the interior, explain what you're reaching for to the officer and avoid any sudden movements. Rolling the window down completely establishes a level of trust with the officer and allows for ease of interaction during the routine traffic stop. Be courteous and polite. Be cooperative and willing to follow the officer's instructions. During a routine traffic stop, the officer will return to his vehicle to run the tag and driver's license verification and complete a citation if one is necessary. Once the officer returns and approaches your vehicle, whether or not a citation or warning is issued, please remain calm, courteous, and cooperative. Sign the citation acknowledging you agree to appear in court, and do not dispute the citation with the officer. The officer will give you a court date to explain or defend your infraction.
Okay, ma'am. Like I told you, I did clock you at 51 in a 35 mile per hour speed zone. I did issue a citation, okay? This here is going to be your court date. I just need a signature from you stating that you received a copy of this citation, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Here's your driver license.
Thank you.
Along with a copy of the citation, okay? You have any questions or concerns for me?
No, sir.
Okay, well, you have a nice day, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Following these few simple steps will help ensure a safe interaction for both you and the officer.
I hope these few tips help you as it relates to dealing with law enforcement and traffic stops. Not only in traffic stops, but in all encounters with law enforcement. We hope that all our encounters are safe for the citizens as well as for our officers. Again, we want you to be safe, and if you have any problems with the Douglasville Police Department, don't hesitate to give us a call and make your concerns known. I would add that Georgia is a right to carry state, and we hope that if you are carrying, that on these traffic stops and all encounters, please let the officer know that you are carrying. This will ensure your safety and our officers' safety. Thank you, may God bless you, and may God keep our community safe. We are one.
Experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom, Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our Inc., reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives. Today's world.
Hi, I'm Michael Collier, funniest man on the planet, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Stay tuned, because that's how they do it over here. Big time party. All right, see y'all later.
Hi, I'm Harry Lennox, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network.
You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings on TV 1061.
Man, what they gonna do with this black on black crime, man? I'm sick of this. Thank you for watching another edition of Talk Show Kings on TV 1061. We'll be seeing you soon.
All right, welcome back to the second half of our broadcast. Again, you can always join into the conversation, giving us a call at 470-689-3832, and that number should be flashing across the screen at the bottom if you're watching on YouTube, TV 1061, and Roku, TV 1061. All right, we're going to jump right back into our topics, and we're going to elaborate a little bit more on the HBCUs and jump into Black success in the community today. Now, King D, you did talk about how we can, or how the leaders or how the HBCUs can actually come up with ways to, help the community. And just to elaborate a little bit more on that, do you feel like that HBCUs do they have the ear of the culture as far as the different communities? Let's just say the hood, for example. Do you think they have the ear of the hood, or do you think they just want to stay in a certain area, in the corporate area?
Yeah. Well, King Eric, to be honest, I think they want to probably stay in their arena more than stepping out and being innovative amongst the community. Not to say that they don't help out and kick out and, pass out turkeys and some book bags and, and school items and things of that nature, but we need more than that, and with them being should be anyway, the top tier of education, I would say, then they should be able to still be able to embed in us something that's going to elevate us as a whole too, right? Because it's been a problem, and it's not nothing that don't nobody see. It's been here forever, So I feel like, with them still educating, being a part of education, because it is education, right? So I think they still have a duty to still educate us on how we need to be self-sufficient. How about that? Educate us on unifying. How about that? I mean, that's who we go to. That's who we paying these thousands of dollars a year, to go to their schools. I mean, I don't see no education on that. That's the issue that I have with HBCUs. And I think that, like you were saying, go ahead.
But here's the thing: how do we know that that's not what they're teaching, and they're just not, and the kids are just not the people the students that's leaving the university, they're just not taking it and running with it.
Well, because if they were
doing that, we've never been to. I've never attended one, but
if they was creating that financial infrastructure, you best believe our people will be working there. They would be working. It would be somebody working at that corporate infrastructure. Somebody would be doing the job if they're paying. Trust me, it's about creating financial wealth, right? I mean, come on.
Okay.
It's people looking for jobs now. It's about if they created the job, people will work. I don't think people wouldn't work because I got personal friends. I got family went to HBCUs, and they out here, they doing Spark. You understand what I'm saying? They doing working at Amazon, Okay? I mean, this is real life. We got to come out of this, you know? And it's about, you know, and this is why it's a big deal, man. It's really a big deal to me. Go ahead, King
Okay,
D.
look. This is okay. We still on this, but we talking about black success in the
Yes.
community.
Yeah, let's talk about that. The black success.
What does it look like?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now
What is
look.
that?
Okay, we looking at NFL players. We looking at entertainers, rappers, whatever. What does it look like to each one of us? Thank you. Now, this is what I see, and this is what I see. Like King D said, this is me. When I see black success in my community, I see flexing. I see showboating. I see gatekeeping. My brother, you riding in that Lambo. How did you get there? Oh, man, you just got to work harder. Man, I know that. Tell me something. Man, you just got to keep grinding. That's what I see.
Yeah.
In the white community, hey, sir, you're riding around in that Rolls Royce Phantom, such and such. How did you do that? Well, this is what I did. I did this and stuff, and I invested into stock. And I said, see, you're not gatekeeping. That's what I see. Now, it's finna go around the panel. That's what I see what's wrong in our community. We gatekeep, we flex, and we stun on each other. We want to pull up at the light in that whip or whatever, in that house, and we want to look down at you like this. Look at me. That's what I see. So now it's on y'all. That's what I see. And I don't agree with that gatekeeping.
It's gonna take some research on an individual basis, because when I see success in the community, that's gonna be one of those things like you mentioned. It's kind of a flex thing, but to overcome the part about saying whether or not I'm going to be one of those ones that even if I become successful, and when I become successful, to make sure that I am around in those places where I didn't have success. Because in order to help those around, because you gave a good example when it comes down to investing, to have the opportunity to come across $1 million like he mentioned. All right, so how do I invest? Then, like you said, I'm gonna have to do investments in something that I know is gonna pay out. Well, how do you get payouts? Well, I know when I looked up investing, you have to invest in certain companies that'll end up paying out either weekly or monthly, every 3 months. Stuff like that is what you're going to have to find out. But if you don't take the time to look for it for yourself, you won't know how to invest or what to invest when it comes down to any type of investments. Because if you're going to see about putting money into something, then that means what's going to come back to you. When you put into your community as a doctor, as a lawyer, or even as a bail bondsman, you're going to end up putting yourself out there. You're going to insert yourself. So that's why I say we are all the examples to say why the answer you're going to have to look for is going to be something you're going to have to find yourself. That's part of success. You have to become successful with the success you make of what you became, because if you end up at Amazon, that's not being successful. So don't lie to yourself, because it's a start, because that's a way to generate money until you get to the part where you feel that flexing success that they're talking about, that we're talking about. It's beyond just a point of saying, all right, I'm successful because I have $600,000. When it's real success is being able to make sure that you have it keep coming in because of people's right, because people are going to still come to you and they're going to bring more people to you, and that's what's going to have their children going to be like, all right, make sure you follow him, so you have something for your children to follow behind.
Yes,
got you. Now you said that one thing I'm gonna touch on, King Bernard. You said gatekeeping. One thing I learned in business, all the greats have said, the game is to be sold, not to be told. Now, with that, one thing I've learned is I can give you the information for free, and what you gonna do with it? Nothing, because I've given it for free. I've shown people how to do certain things for free, and they done nothing with it. Okay. But as soon as you start putting a $ sign on it, it becomes more important to them. Now, I go to college. For me, it doesn't matter if you go to a HBCU or if you go to a junior college. When those student loans start piling up and you got to pay those debts back, you got to get out there and get it, because somebody coming to get it, they going to get that money or they going to get you. One of the two.
Who came up with that motto? The game is to be
sold, not to be told.
Do the other communities think that way?
No.
The white communities.
No.
I see what you're saying.
They don't.
But do they think that way?
You know why they don't?
I see what you're saying, though.
They don't think that way. They don't think that way because they're already giving the information to the ones they want to give it to.
And you guys right there is tapping into just what I was going to say,
But
King
see,
Eric.
here's the
just
thing.
like you were saying. I just wanted to say this. And I want to say this, too, for our viewers. When I was saying Amazon, work for Amazon, and they're doing Spark and things like that.
No shade.
It's not, no shade to that. No shade to that. But I shouldn't have to pay $50,000 to go there and work there. See, that's the thing that I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? I just paid you $50,000, for my education, and I'm still ended up at the place that I didn't have to even pay for education to be here. You understand what I'm saying? It's not no shade on Amazon. It's not no shade on Spark, DoorDash, any of that, because it's a way to make money, and it's you got to get these ends. No pun intended.
I'm not.
So at the same time, but what I was saying as far as what King B was talking about, far as, and you were saying, far as the game is to be sold and not told.
Right.
I get that, but a lot of people do not put value on it if you give them something. But you know where that starts, right? It's the mind.
Now, let me ask you,
and
you
until
say
we
that.
change this mind that we have been engineered to have, we're not going to never get past any of that.
And
because
that's everything that we do.
Yes, it's in your mind. It starts
Starts
in the
everything.
mind. So until we change our minds, until we can correct these bad ideals and these bad things that the habits that we done picked up along this way, then we're going to continue with the same behavior. It's just that simple. And so that's the most important thing, to find success in the community. You want to say what success in the community looks like? It's people thinking different. You see them feeling different, acting different, because the way that we're looking in our community today, the way that they're portraying us on television, the artists, the rap, the songs, the TV shows and all of the above, it's not good. Our kids is dealing with mental health right now because of it, okay? I deal with kids every day, my kids, first and foremost, on top of other kids and even adults. Mental health is real.
Oh, yeah.
And
Especially
it's coming.
in our community.
And our community is so real, and my heart is so heavy right now. And even talking about mental health, because it's really, it touches home for me at this point. And so
I had therapy, so
Yeah.
I'm not
Yes.
ashamed to admit
Yes,
it. A year of therapy.
absolutely, yes.
After my divorce, I
Yes.
needed therapy.
Yes, don't be ashamed to take
Man.
therapy.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
had
I'm saying?
therapy.
Because and if you do go to therapy, try to find someone that can come from a more cultural centered perspective. You see, somebody that knows our culture, because we're different. We're not the same. We're different. We're not the same. We operate differently. So community success to me looks like coming with a whole new idea of things. You see what I'm saying? That we have to create together, that's going to empower our community. And until we can create those things together, then we're not going to be able to pull us out of this rut that we're in, because we're still following. And this phone right here, this is the most deadliest thing created at this point that we participate in. And this is one of the biggest things that's dealing with our mental health issue right now. It's not not the child itself, it's what the child is partaking in. You see what I'm saying? Even the adults. You see, they see this and they see what's on here and they think it's okay. They think it's okay to do this because they getting views. They getting views. They getting attention. Even though it's foul, even though it's not, it's not ladylike or it's not manly-like. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're just selling yourself for views. And that's the thing that we have to get out of. We have to get back to actually really knowing our worth. you know, gaining that back and getting that back and instilling that back into our kids. And this is not going to be the answer, because this is the, you understand, man, listen, I can go on and on, but I'm going to just land that plane.
So with that, now you talk about the cell phones. Let's switch back to does Black success. Do you feel like Blacks are being pressured into certain career paths?
Yes, very much so. And the path that we're being pushed into is entertainment.
And sports.
Straight, right, and sports.
That's it.
And the reason why is because a lot of that is going to have to deal with contracts. And as long as I can hold you to this contract, I can tell you what you can and cannot say. I can tell you what you can and cannot do. So when it comes down to something like that, to find an answer in why I shouldn't feel pressured to have to sign this, or why I should feel pressured because I'm coming from a neighborhood that it wasn't a lot out there for me, and nobody was really helping me out there. So now that I'm here and I can do something about it, it's more about helping self than it is about doing for the community, because you don't necessarily have to. And the contract says now I don't have to, and they're going to help me not have to too, then yes. That's why when it comes down to seeing the ways that we can help the community or the ways that we can help each other, even for self, is to understand that if you are wanting to do this, the way that you're going to be able to is you're going to have to be able to go back where you were. Example, the Bible itself, right? That's a game that's told, and you don't even have to buy that. They give it to you almost every day, to where you're going to automatically give it to others. And you don't even have to have the book right there in front of you, but you're willing to give it, and that's game itself. But sometimes when it comes down to sitting here saying, hey, let's go to church. Hey, let's go to church. Hey, let's go to church. Hey, when it comes down to being successful, let me show you when it comes down to being a lawyer and making sure when it comes down to knowing your rights. Let me put you on game so that when they come up on you, you don't have to take a breathalyzer. You don't have to do certain things. Let me show you. Come on. Do the same thing. That's one of those ways that you can make sure that you have success with each other, is because you're going to actually be like, let me show you. You don't have to just tell it to me. I'm going to show you. I'm going to bring it to you because I'm here and I've done it. So now you can see it being done.
Okay. I'm surprised you can still breathe over there.
boy, it's a lot to get out.
And at the same token, you got to understand what success is ultimately is for each individual to know their purpose, right? Right. Each individual need to know their purpose. That's something that shouldn't be gatekept, but it is. The information is out here. You know, we can actually give our youth their purpose. You see, but we're not practicing that. That's not what we practice in our community. But if we start practicing that and start giving these kids the real deal, not this fabricated stuff and this inflated stuff that they trying to feed our youth, we'll be a better people. You see what I'm saying? Because our kids are very inquisitive. They're very smart, and they're very knowledgeable. They're very these kids they got everything we got. That's why it's mental health. Listen, yes, so that's why it's a mental health crisis dealing with our youth right now, and because they're taking on all of this information at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and they got all the information and more than we do as adults. So think of that. When you were 12, 13, 14, you didn't have all this information. We couldn't do a lot of things when we were kids until we got older.
No, I want to take that back. It wasn't that we didn't have the information.
No,
we just didn't have. It just wasn't accessible as it is now.
That's what I'm saying.
So we had it. We just had to really go
time to get it, though.
Search it.
But it was a certain time to actually get it. You see what I'm saying? It's all type of filth on here.
Oh yeah.
That these kids don't need to be seen.
No doubt.
You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about, the filth that's on this thing. So then, these kids tapping into at an early age, and their minds can't even consume that. Their minds isn't even developed yet to be able to take on what they're seeing. You see what I'm saying? So that's the mental health that our youth are dealing with. And until we take these phones out of our youth's hand and actually doing some one-on-ones like we used to do, some group things, community things together, we won't be able to change them because they have their own minds just like everyone. Like you and I.
And
we
I
all
agree.
have our
I
own
agree
minds. And we all have
wholeheartedly
our own
with that.
will.
I agree wholeheartedly with that.
Absolutely. So that's my thing. I'm taking these phones out. My kids are grown pretty much now. You know, I have one child left, and that's what I'm taking that advantage.
So you can't tell, you can, but you can't tell a man how to run his household. So when it comes down to a good example, like you mentioned, the cell phone, if you're saying that you paid for the cell phone that they have, that's got the filth on it, then you have to take the steps to make sure that if you're going to manage them, that you put it in their hands to do it. So a lot of that is going to be upon responsibility. When you go home, how many times y'all sitting at the dinner table and y'all not on your phones? How many times y'all sitting here being like, all right, we're going to actually sit here and have conversations like this and get off your tablet. And we're going to actually talk and have conversations together. Is there any point in time when it comes down to sitting here saying we're going to do it as a family? Because if you can maintain the household, then you can maintain a community. But you have to do it for self first before you can go outside of self to do it with anyone else. Because if you can't control your own, how are you going to control those other things that you can't necessarily control? Because you're going to send them to school. Your child has never bit you or anyone else. All of a sudden they're coming home biting you. Where did that come from? From school? So if you know what you're battling against, then you know how to. No biting. We don't bite. All right. So when you teach your kid how to fight, I bet you the next time they get bit, they'll learn how to not get bit. Then they come home and be like, "Yeah, Daddy, what you taught me worked." Yeah, Mommy, what you taught me worked, because your mom is the one maybe have the sense to be able to talk you into knowing how to have a conversation and how to resolve things without being physically violent, as like your dad might. But until you're able to make sure that you manage self, to manage those who are around you, like in your house, then you'll learn how to be able to manage those in your community, to say why you have good judgment when it says in the Bible, oh, you shouldn't judge. Then how do you sit here and be like, yeah, that kid isn't going to be one of those ones I want my kid around? That's judgment. In a way to make it make sense for yourself, because now you have to put that same knowledge in another person's hands, like your child. That's going to end up having to put it in somebody else's hands, like their teacher. Because if their teacher's wrong, what, you're going to sit there and let them say, oh, don't say nothing? You can be respectful and say something. That's their teacher. They're supposed to give you respect like you're supposed to be given. But if you can't show them what it looks like in your house, yes, ma'am, no, sir. When it comes down to talking to a kid that's younger than you, then why do you expect them to be able to do it with somebody that's older than themselves? They're going to cuss them out.
So that's success starts with that?
Yes, it's got to, because before, the reason they even made it to Morehouse or Howard is because it came from you or the parents to get there.
Now, with that, no, I agree with what you're saying. But I think we're moving a little bit off topic when we get into the mental health aspect of it, because mental health can go a long way without more than just here in this situation on this topic.
Oh yeah.
But getting back to just the black success with HBCUs and black success in the community, period. Personally, what does it look like to you in the end, in the black community, the result? What does that end result look like in success, being successful in the black community?
To me, it looks like our own schools. It looks like our own hospitals. It looks like our own banks. It looks like our own law offices. It looks like our own community working together. That's what black success, that's what community success looks like to me and for our people.
King Bernard?
Man, King D just took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, that's pretty much, man, until we find unity, you know, within our community and with us, man, that's success. And like we were saying earlier, okay, your success, my success, his success, it can be different. You have $1 million, you can say, well, you know what, I'm successful. I can have 50,000. Yeah, I'm successful too, because this is my interpretation of success. Our interpretation of success is
it's going to be different, right?
I can't say, well, you successful because you this much. Well, you're not successful because you only have that much. Yes, I am. I'm successful no matter what. But yeah.
King Clem, what's your personal, and because we got to wrap it up, what's personal, if it was you at the result, the final result, what would you consider black success in the community?
Black success in the community is exactly what we're trying to build to. being able to answer the questions that we have to make each other successful enough to be able to have a better future than what we have now. Because we've always had one from before, and we're having one now, and we'll be able to continue to have it. That's what Black success looks like.
For me, Black success is everyone working together in that community, as a community, working together, helping each other, because if we do that, the whole community will be successful. The whole Black culture will be successful. It's not just about, it don't matter if you have $10, $100, $1,000. You help one, teach one. If you help the $10, you help the $10 get to 100, you help the 100 get to 1,000. That's how you strengthen a community. That's how you strengthen the culture. No matter if you sell it, no matter if you give the information. But the information is out there. It's all about the person to go get it. We want to thank everybody for tuning in for another episode. We'll see you on our next episode. Y'all have a good day.
Peace.
We out.
Already.
You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings on TV 1061.
Man, what they gonna do with this black on black crime, man? I'm sick of this. Thank you for watching another edition of Talk Show Kings on TV 1061. We'll be seeing you soon.